Hey, what's up, forums? Bilbo Baggins. I'm bringing you some Call of Duty 4 TDM gameplay on the map Bog, which is notorious for spawn trapping whenever you're playing Domination. If you spawn Terroricide and you don't grab the B flag, that's almost a death sentence. I'm not really here to talk about the gameplay, though. What I will say briefly is my cap card crapped out on me again, man. I don't know why it's doing it. It really sucks when it happens, but anytime I stop recording and then start recording up again, every so often it'll just miss different segments of the game. So there's like a 40-second segment that's missing out of this game. Kind of sucks. But if it keeps happening, I guess I'll look into getting it fixed or maybe even buying a new cap card. But I'm not going to get into a rant. I don't want to get too off topic. What I want to talk about today is artificial AI, or artificial intelligence, at least as it applies to video games. And I don't think I've covered this topic before in a video. I know I've put up a post on the forum website, but I don't think I've discussed it in a video before. If I have, I'm sorry. I know we've gotten a lot of new subs in the last couple months, so it should be a new topic for you guys. But if you don't know what artificial intelligence is, it's basically the procedures, the programs, the patterns, everything that is used to dictate how computer-controlled enemies or computer-controlled players work and interact with you. So, you know, you're playing a single-player shooter, and that's where it skips right there. When you're playing a first-person shooter, and you know how the enemies take cover, how do they communicate with one another, how do they form groups and strategic routes to try to take you out, how do they make the game feel more realistic whenever you're playing a computer. And it's not limited to first-person shooters, it's also in RPGs as well. And obviously there's leaps and bounds in terms of AI development since, you know, they started using it in first-person shooters and in video games in general, but it still isn't quite there in terms of developing true realism. I mean, if you play a single-player game enough, you can start to see patterns and you can find ways of beating the system. I mean, a good way to kind of tell the difference is go play combat training in Black Ops and then go play online. I mean, it's just not the same feel. Combat training, it doesn't. There's not as many variables. There's not as many factors. So obviously there's a lot more enjoyment to be had whenever you're playing on multiplayer because there's just so many different variables involved when you're playing a human component. But they are looking at ways of increasing AI and making it more powerful and making it more believable whenever you're playing it. But I'm actually not going to talk about that aspect of AI, of making the computer-controlled characters more intelligent. I'm actually talking about another area. Since I work in the technological field or the technological industry, I have a chance to work and talk with a lot of people, especially people that enjoy video games as well. And one guy I know in particular, he actually worked on a project that's using AI to completely rewrite a single-player story as you play it. So, to give you an example, say you're playing Fallout 3, and there's a lot of different options at your disposal. You can align with different factions, you can do quests in a lot of variety of different ways with different outcomes. The catch is it's finite. I mean, there's only a certain number of playthroughs you can have on Fallout 3, and you'll cover everything. But in this model, this type of setup, the story rewrites itself based on your actions. So basically, there'd be an overall arcing story going on in the background. But how you get to the end goal is 100% up to you. If you kill like an important, like say you have to save your girlfriend from the mob. Let's just say that's the setup for it. And you kill, or you're torturing some guy to get some information, and you accidentally kill him. It seems pretty gruesome. In some games that would fail the mission. You know, the guy that you needed information from is dead. In this game, if it's not absolutely essential or using this technology, it will rewrite the story so that maybe there's another way to get the information later on. So the story just continues to progress, and it will write and change the elements based on that. It's really, I wouldn't say it's new technology because they've been working on it for quite some time, but it's technology that it's still relatively raw. And I had a chance to actually work with the engine. I didn't actually work on it, but I had a chance to interact with it once a long time ago in college. It was a psych experiment. I went in, they were using Unreal Engine, and as I was playing this game, they were monitoring my like they were monitoring like my heart rate and my temperature and all these different things. And the reason they were doing that is because based on like my pulse, based on my mood, they would try to adjust the game. So if the game could tell I'm getting frustrated on a puzzle, then it'll make the puzzle easier or introduce more clues to figure it out. If the game senses that I'm really bored in a certain area, then it would ramp up the action and make it more intense. So the game would adjust itself based on how you're playing. Now, it didn't do that. That's what they were measuring, but that's what they were trying to reach for. So it'd be an interesting concept to mix those things together. Let me know what you guys think if you want to hear more about it, and like always, take it easy.